Eta, welcome to the first installment of Varetsindija. Sunlight Dinyana boy. Brand new skin pot. Listen folks. Today we are going to be discussing what we discussed last time. It was the day before the elections. Okay, kids, class is now in session. As you guys will recall, in the last video, I spoke about the fact that there'd been no load shedding for a while. And I'd given credit to the fact that I think the ANC has actually done something about the load shedding. What we need to discuss today is everybody before these elections who said there is no load shedding because the ANC is fixing up for the elections. I mean, there were a host of different theories as to why in 2024 we ceased to have load shedding. Now, the theories were, a week after elections there's going to be load shedding. Correct. It has been it's been quite a while. That's almost a month since load shedding, and we have had it has been about a month since the elections, and we have still had no load shedding. So what I need to know is this. What is the reason now for no load shedding? Is it not possible that the actual problem has been resolved? I'll tell you why I'm making this an issue. Is because in our country we have a system, or we have a problem where if somebody does something and something gets fixed, we don't even appreciate it. We act like nothing has happened. Here's the funny part about this. For each and every single person that used to complain about load shedding, for each and every single person that had some bonsai, crazy, muffhead theory about why there was no load shedding, if you have a theory right now as to why there's no load shedding, in the comments below, Belela, whatever, make your own video. I would like to know what you've got to say. Each and every single person that had something to say about no load shedding back then, why are they silent now? You see, the problem is this. It's always very nice to speak in hypothetics, and it's very nice to seem smart and know something about anything and everything and always have a comment. But the day that you are wrong, nobody ever seems to apologize. That's what I actually completely dislike, is that now that you've been incorrect in your theory, let's put it like this. How many times do you have a problem with a woman? She does something, and then when she's wrong, she just wants to move on and act like, oh shit, I was never ever wrong. That's my problem with a lot of you people, is that you have been systematically wrong about this load shedding. The ANC has actually fixed load shedding, and instead of congratulating them or saying, well done, that has been actually fixed, you act like it never happened before, and we just move straight on into the next crisis. It's almost calling it a thankless job. How I would rather put this is to say this. In the last year, we got a Minister of Electricity. Within the first year of us having a Minister of Electricity, load shedding stopped. Is that not as a direct result of the Minister of Electricity? Because we have a Minister of Education, we have a Minister of Finance, we have ministers for everything, except we never had a Minister of Electricity. Now that the Minister of Electricity is there, electricity supply has actually been sorted out. I would like to give credit where credit is due. I was so close to voting for the ANC on election day simply because I thought I would actually show appreciation for you having had fixed something. Now, part 2 of this goes like this. If you said that the ANC was holding out on load shedding because they wanted to win the election, do you not think now that they're getting into bed with the DA, now that they're at 40%, whoever those idiots were that were fucking around, they would have gone straight back in to go and pillage more, because clearly their run is almost over. That's what would make sense, but that hasn't happened, right? So on 2 counts, your theory doesn't necessarily hold out, that you can always blame the ANC. I want to make a proviso here. In life, governments are there to blame for shit that goes wrong. And governments are never there to be really thanked for things that go right. So when there's a financial crisis, we will blame the government. When there's an electricity price, when there's a jobs crisis, anytime there's a crisis, we will always blame the government. So in the next year, if there is load shedding, who do we blame now? Who do we blame? Because we've got all of these parties combined in one place, right? So you can't necessarily just now point out, hey, it's the ANC. What I want you to be very, very, very careful of, South Africa, is this though. If we have no more load shedding for the next year, I don't want to hear a single one of you in a year's time saying, since the DA came into that there's no load shedding. Because what is going to happen is exactly that. You are going to take credit for something you did nothing, and then that's how we are all going to remember it. Ever since the DA came into power, there's been no load shedding. That's how history is going to tell the story if we are not careful. Minister of Energy, I forget your name, my good man. How did they do that thing? Yeah, man, that hot thing. Much appreciation for that. The rest of the country, fuck it, what are we going to do? But one thing has definitely been resolved, which is load shedding.